Hi everybody, welcome to Strong at Home workout number 13. I'm Bonnie Campbell from projectstrong.ca. Feel free to check out my website for further information on strength and conditioning with older adults, which is what I specialize in. And so today we're going to get started with our warm-up. So remember with our videos that we've been producing for you guys, I show you the exercises, and then at the end there's a screen of each segment that tells you reviews the list of exercises that you can do for that segment of the workout. So there are basically usually 3 parts to the workout: a warm-up, a strength focus, and then a conditioning workout that gets your breathing and heart rate going. And then about once a week I'll add in a little bit of a mobility piece as well. So if you have a smart TV or Apple TV, that's a great way to project this, so you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, find the videos on YouTube, and play them through your TV. If not, then you can continue watching through your computer, your tablet, your phone, whatever device it is that you're choosing to use. But I know smart TVs work really nicely. Okay, so our warm-up today, we're going to start with I'm going to give you 2 options on how you can do this. You can stay in place and you can do heel toe in place, or you can pick a hallway somewhere in your home or even outside, and you're going to move for roughly 10 to 15 feet of heel toe walk. So if you're staying in place, you'll do 10 to 15 heel toes. So you'll step heel, heel, toe, toe, heel, heel, toe, toe, heel, heel, toe, toe. So if you're doing that in your hallway, you'll walk about the length of your hall. If you're doing this stationary, you'll just do about 10 heel, heel, toe, toe in total. So 10 heels, 10 toes, okay? You'll do that once. Once you've completed that, then you will do 2 rounds, and we're going to start with an alternating forward lunge. So for some of you where balance becomes an issue, you can get out your broomstick, your hockey stick, your, in this case it's a paint stick, and it can be like your stationary cane. Ski poles also work really well. Today we're going to work on that forward lunge position. So I'm going to turn to the side here. Doesn't matter which hand you have your stick in, but what I'm going to ask you to do is step forward as far as you feel comfortable. You can move the stick forward with you. You can also do this along the side of your counter, or your couch, or a wall. But this is nice, it can be with you anywhere. So we're going to think about that knee being above the ankle and vertical shin as much as possible. We want an upright torso, and we want that back knee behind the hip. And then we're just going to lower down, and then we're going to stand back up. Switch legs, step forward, lower down, stand back up, okay? So what we are trying to do is open up that front of the hip by getting the knee behind the hip, keep the torso upright as possible. So we can lunge and step further forward if we want to as we work through that lunge, warming up, stretching through this front piece. Our light just died. So we'll do 10 alternating leg lunges in total. Then you're going to go to a wall. So here I am at the wall. I'm going to get my bottom against the wall. My belly's going to be tight. I want my shoulders against the wall as much as possible. So I want to make sure ribs stay over my hips, that I'm not arching through the movement. Our light just came back on. So I'm going to go into this 90-degree position, trying to get my elbows to the wall as much as I can. And we're going to do a pec opener. So maintaining that tight belly, we're going to bring the arms in and then stretch them out. So my elbow is at 90 degrees, and I'm reaching towards the wall with my wrists and my elbows. And then I come back and out again. So we should feel that opening through the front of our chest. Now the tendency as we do this is to open up through the belly, and we don't want to do that. We want to open up through the chest. So keep the belly tight as we stretch those arms back towards the wall. So once we've completed 5 of those, then we're going to do what we call a scarecrow. So basically our hands our facing palm out. And now we're going to rotate our hands, palms to the floor as far as we feel like we can, and then come back up. So you're going to do 5 of these. So where you might feel this is in the top of that shoulder as your arms reach towards the wall. Some of you will get lower than that, closer to the wall, and some of you may not get as close as I did. So we're coming back up and down, up and down. So we're doing 5 of those. Then we come back into this position here, and now we're going to slide our arms up the wall. We're going to do 5 wall slides, trying to keep belly tight, back against the wall, arms as close to the wall as we can. So once we've done 5 wall slides, then we're going to get our Theraband and we'll do 10 lateral shoulder raises with each arm. So make sure your foot is firmly planted on that Theraband. We don't want that Theraband flinging out on us. So firmly plant the Theraband underneath your feet. You can stand on it with 2 feet if you're worried about it at all. We're going to hold the Theraband so our thumb is up. Our arm is going to be out just slightly ahead of our body. So not right in line with our body, just slightly in front. So we should see that in our peripheral vision. We want to make sure both shoulders stay relaxed and down. And we're going to raise that hand up as far as we can and back down. We're going to think about a long elbow. So we're not breaking at the elbow at all. So keep that elbow long, straight arm. So we'll do 10 on one side, and then we switch to 10 on the other. Again, hand is just in front of the body, thumb is up, raising that arm up as high as we can, keeping the shoulder relaxed and down. So that shoulder blade is gliding along our back. So 10 of those. So just to review again, we're going to go through 2 rounds of that. It'll be 10 forward lunges. So you can use a stick if you want to. Upright torso, knee behind the hip, feeling that stretch in the hip flexor. So 10 in total, alternating leg lunges. Then 5 pec openers. Then 5 scarecrows. So palm to the wall, palm up. Palm to the wall, palm up. Those are our scarecrows. And then 5 wall slides, and then 10 lateral raises with our Theraband. Standing on our Theraband, firmly planted with our foot, shoulders square and level. 10 of those. And that is our warm-up for today. Okay, so here we are now working on our strength focus today. So we have 2 exercises for you. A seated L-sit shoulder press, alternating with a front foot elevated lunge off of a box or a staircase or a stack of books. So equipment that you would need today, a light set of dumbbells, soup cans, can of beans, something light. You're going to find that with the L-seated shoulder press, we tend to go a little lighter with this. And then a stack of books or a staircase for your step. And some of you might want a stick with you for balance for that. So I'm going to go down on the floor, and we're going to take a look at our position for the L-seated shoulder press. So with the L-seated shoulder press, when we're sitting on the ground, turn slightly. So when we're sitting on the ground with our legs straight out, we have a habit of letting our pelvis tilt back and our back rounds. So what we want to focus on here is tilting our pelvis forward, so anteriorly tilting, getting a nice tall spine, maintaining this, locking it in while we do our shoulder press. So we want that nice tall spine, neutral chin. We're going to bring our weights to our shoulders. Think about that tall spine the whole time, and we're going to press up. We're going to do anywhere between 8 and 10 of these. So this is a great shoulder exercise, but it is also causing us to actively engage in our core and our pelvis to stay flat through the spine, because we have this tendency to do this, and that's not how we want to press overhead. We want to be in that nice tall spine pressing up, okay? So 8 to 10 of those, so that's why you're going to find you're going to need a lighter weight. And then you're going to rest anywhere between 1 and 2 minutes. You'll take your time to get up off the ground. And then you're going to come to your front foot elevated lunge. So I can take my stick in one hand. I'm going to step both feet up on my step or my box or my staircase. In this case, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to step back with my left foot. And we're going to think about the same things we were doing in our warm-up with our lunges. So I'm going to step back as far as I feel comfortable. So I'm into a lunge. This is a little different than a step up. I want that knee over my ankle. The knee can be slightly outside, and a vertical shin. So that's my front leg. My back leg, I want that knee behind my hip. And when I do this, I want to think about tall spine. I don't want to get over like this. That's our tendency. And by elevating our front foot, that forces us a little bit more upright. Okay? Then you'll notice that I can turn on that glute. Helps me open up that hip a little bit, and then I'm going to stand through that front foot. I'm going to do 10 on that same leg, lowering down as low as I feel like I can. And for some of you, doing this on a book may be perfectly fine. You don't necessarily have to go to your 8-inch step in your house. So a small height, so long as we're getting that front foot up as we're stepping back, is what we're after. So once we've done 10 on one side, we're going to switch and do 10 on the other side. So we should be feeling this in that back glute working, turning on, and opening through that front hip. We want to open up the front hip. We're focusing on that a little bit more today in our lunges, because many of us have been sitting around and sitting all day. And so sitting gets us into a closed hip. So we're trying to open up that hip in that lunge position. And getting us raised up on that box allows our chest to come up, so we get that stretch through that hip. So knee behind the hip, tall spine, that's what we're focusing on here. So 4 sets in total, alternating between your L-sit shoulder press and your front foot elevated lunges. And that's your strength focus today. Okay, and now we are all ready for our conditioning workout. So for this, the equipment you're going to need is your box or your staircase and a load that ideally has a handle on it so the jug works nicely. So what we're going to be doing, 3 rounds of 10 step-ups, 10 sumo deadlift high pull, 10 bear hug squats. We're going to be moving quickly, resting as little as possible. So the idea here is our heart rate should be continuously coming up, getting into around that 7 or 8 out of 10. If you hit that 8 out of 10, slow your pace down a little bit. So we want to get our heart rate going so we move quickly. So 10 step ups. So we're just going to step up and down on whatever height box we've decided to find in our house. It could be a stack of books. It could be our 8-inch stair in our home. Get as much as your foot on the box as you can. So 10 of those. Then we're going to go to our sumo deadlift high pull. So sumo stance is that extra wide stance. It's wider than our squat stance. Hands are going to hang on the inside. The object we're picking up is right in between our feet. That way it stays as close to our body as possible. So we're going to hinge back with the hip, arms hang down, straight from our shoulders. When my hips are as far back as I feel comfortable, then I'm going to drop the hip, bend the knees, lower down to my object, stand it up, and then I'm going to pull with high elbows. Notice my elbows are higher than my wrists. Pull with high elbows. I can pull anywhere to the bottom of my sternum to the top of my collarbone, maintaining high elbows. So if I want to pull it up to here and my elbows drop, that's too high for me. So most of you will pull about to your sternum, keeping elbows high. Then you're going to lower that object straight down your belly, hinge back, touch the ground. So 10 high elbow, sumo deadlift, high pulls. So you can think about this action as zipping up your jacket, unzipping your jacket, zip up your jacket, unzip your jacket. So on the 10th one, you're going to bring it up to your chest, take one hand off and the other hand off, and you wrap it around or hug it like a bear hug. Bring your feet in slightly to your squat stance. Do 10 bear hug squats. Okay? That's the end of your first round. Then you need to repeat it all again. 10 step ups, 10 sumo deadlift, high pull, and then 10 bear hug squats. 3 rounds, as little rest as possible, and that's your conditioning workout for today. Okay, so today I have a little bit of a mobility piece for you. So each position that I'm going to show you today, you're going to stay in that position for 30 seconds to 60 seconds, up to as much as 2 minutes, whatever you feel you need to do today. What I want you to focus on is some nice deep breathing and relaxation, breathing right into your belly as you do this. So we're going to be lying on our back. You can extend one leg straight out. So the first position that we're going to go to is knee to chest. So we're just going to bend that knee, hold just below the joint, and just draw that knee to your chest. And this is your first position that you'll hold for 30 to 60 seconds. Then our next position, we're going to take that knee and think about reaching it across to the other side. So I get a little bit of a stretch in the outside of my hip. So drawing that knee across your body, whatever that looks like for you. Everybody's mobility will be different. So it's knee to the opposite side. And then the next position will be knee out. So with this, if you've had a hip replacement, go to where you're comfortable. Think about the guidelines you've been told by your surgeon. So in this case, we're just going to let the knee fall out first. And some of you who've had that hip replacement will stop there and just feel that inner thigh stretch. Those of you who are okay with this and have not had a hip replacement, you're now going to think about drawing that ankle in, knee falls completely out to the side. We can then bring the other leg in behind to support that ankle, or we can keep holding it. And we're just going to reach in behind the other thigh, drawing our ankle towards our chest as our knee falls to the outside. So some of you will listen to your hip and listen to your body, remembering the guidelines your surgeon has given to you that are particular for your hip. So some of you may not be doing this today, but others who've not had a hip replacement, you can attempt this, and you should feel that stretch in that outside of the hip. So again, each position you're going to hang out in for 30 seconds to 60 seconds, up to 2 minutes, wherever you feel you need to be. Make sure you do both sides, and that's our mobility piece for today. So don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. So you can like this video by clicking the little thumbs up. Evan, show them a thumb up. Yeah, thumb up if you liked it. Feel free to comment below if you liked the workout, or once you get the workout completed. I would love to hear from you. And that's it for today. Enjoy the sunshine.